Hi, Tucker. I'm Todd. Hi, Todd. I'm Tucker.
Okay, well, officially welcome into this episode of the Tucker and Todd Show. We are eventually going to write an Yay, children cheering. Yay! Oh, maybe I should do that every episode.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yay!
You know exactly which one I'm thinking of, too.
Yeah, like the Magic School Bus one.
Exactly.
Yes, welcome to this. As I was saying, someday we're going to write an intro for the show where we help people who have been coming, people who have been coming.
Nice. That's. I'm so glad that this is how we're starting off. Like literally starting at 100.
At least 99. We are going to start with an apology because
we're starting at 69.
We're starting at 69. You know, to lube each other up.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely time for that apology. I'm sorry for that.
It's a good time for the apology. Okay, anyways, I need to apologize for last episode because I listened to it and I did, as Craig pointed out, truly, in fact, munch my cookies directly into and I need to apologize for that. That's never going to happen again.
I didn't say anything because I thought it was funny.
I had to listen to it through the whole edit of the whole last one, and I wanted to punch myself in the face every 20 seconds as I heard another swallow and gulp.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty great.
I thought there was a part of me that thought it would be sort of funny in a Tim and Eric sort of way, just to always have that as a thing. But I think that's the funny bit for that one episode, is that everything's munch, swallow. This episode, all I have is sparkling water, and that is all that I will be consuming.
Yeah, I just have a glass of water. I didn't think to bring any funny cookies.
No. Although I will say, when I listen back, and Craig specifically said that sentence in his Craig voice, I laugh every time. It's very funny to me the way that he says.
I might have spit out my drink at some of the stuff Craig says.
Craig really fucking kills me. It's annoying that he's such an unlikable person.
Yeah, he's too funny.
He's too witty. All right, apologies out of the way. Shall we get into what this show actually is? On this show, we write sketches for our late night variety show, The Tucker and Todd Show. We submitted them here on our Discord channel, and so I'm going to scroll up a bit and check out what we have suggested doing. Should we do a dystopian future?
Ooh, what caused the dystopia? Or is it a mystery?
Well, I had proposed a separate individual story, which was about how deepfakes and AI technology made all actors obsolete. Do we want to go to that dystopian future? Or that gives way to a dystopian future?
I mean, I could probably chew it apart pretty quickly, because where do the likenesses come from if there are no actors anymore?
Well, they just use assets that have been pre-created from all of the old world actors.
Okay, so we just recycle the past 100 years of cinema forever now.
Yeah, especially after like Netflix and Amazon and all those online distributors spiked, there was just a ton of content, and now all of that content is just mined endlessly.
That is dystopian. That is some cyberpunk shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like a version of it has to have already been done. Somebody said today, Mitch Hurwitz, the guy that created Arrested Development, was on the Smartless podcast with Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes. And he was talking about how one thing he's really had to teach himself to do over the years, when he's sitting down, coming up with a concept and working on a premise for something that he's writing, is to just never listen to the voice that says, oh, that's stupid, it's already been done, somebody's already done a version of this, and just press through that and figure out how to turn that into something that is yours.
Good advice.
Because I do that all the time. Every time we come up with a premise, I go, somebody already did that.
Yeah.
Well, not every time, but when it fits into that category.
Probably The Simpsons, in fact. It was probably the Yellow Family that did it.
Yeah, true. Or at least Futurama.
Either way, groaning is responsible.
So if we're in a future where there are no more actors, is somebody trying to be an actor then? Like, what is...
I'm not sure if that's the dystopian future or if that's how the dystopian future begins.
Is it just after the technology has been developed and we're at the edge of the dawn of the new age where all of the old world actors are still alive but none of them can get work anymore?
For it to be the dystopian future, it has to be after the general kind of collapse of whatever it is that led to
Right.
everything becoming dystopian. So I'm going to assume that we're far flung into the future. There are no actors anymore, but there are tons of writers, and they just happen to all have assets.
Oh, so in the same way how like right now it's super lucrative for people to be editors because of the like massive, oh, I'm gonna forget how words work. Dearth is a lack, right? Abundance. I need a good word for abundance because I don't want that one ever.
Is abundance not a good word for abundance?
I suppose it is, but I always want a better one. I want a monosyllabic. I want a word that sounds like dearth, but it means a lot. A glut.
Wealth.
There's a glut, a wealth, yes, but I'm going to go with glut. There's a glut of YouTubers, and now everybody's an editor. So in the future, where everybody has assets, who are the most valuable people? Who are the most valuable, and who are the least valuable? Who is an interesting character in this? Like, where are we? Who are we looking at?
The most valuable people will probably be those who can create new assets somehow.
So asset creators.
Because the alternative is simply recycling previously used assets, and since nobody actually likes to do that, there will still be a demand for new stuff.
So are there like asset miners? Are there people the same way that there's like cryptocurrency miners? There's people with whole computer farms just trying to dig out digital assets from old things that haven't been copyrighted yet?
No, they're using fancy algorithms to just put together like mouth, nose, eye, eyebrow, cheekbone ratios that haven't been used yet, like mathematically.
Oh, okay. Like deep learning.
So they're deep learning stuff. Like they're trying to construct never before used faces.
Okay, this is interesting. So they're trying to. So is this where this might be where we go then? Somebody's trying to create never before created faces, and then they either create kind of like the god face, or they recreate like a prophesied face. Is there a prophecy about an asset that will be created, and somebody creates it, and then they're sought after in some way?
Or do they create a face that actually becomes an information hazard even to look at?
Oh, is this sort of like the funniest joke?
Yes, exactly.
What was the specific phrase you used? Information what?
Information hazard.
Like the most dangerous face?
Yeah, like a kind of face that to look upon it is to be mesmerized. It doesn't necessarily it's not necessarily ugly, but it's sublime and it disturbs people to look at.
Okay. And so is the joke in the actual artistic design of the face and it's counterintuitive, or is the joke in what people are willing to do when they fall under the face's spell?
You know what always happens when you give us a product.
It's always
right?
both.
So yeah, probably both.
God
But
damn
on
it.
the other hand, I think that the face should actually just be like friggin' benign. It should just be like a goofy normal face.
Okay.
Because like the most dangerous joke turned out to be just a stupid joke.
Right.
You know, my dog doesn't have a nose.
Is it a face that already exists?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I think the reason that it's been mined as the single never before used face is because it actually has no special traits whatsoever.
Oh.
It's symmetrical, it's bland, everything is like a perfectly average size. Every single part about it is so utterly benign that it couldn't possibly be a real person's face.
Are we going to do a social commentary with this where we're talking about how people who try to control like an identity politics thing?
I think that's super dangerous,
I know.
but it might be funny.
I mean, if we do it like it needs to be unimpeachable. Like some sort of special interest group realizes that there's a face with no special traits. Like it's the least objectifiable face.
It's like Plato's form of a face.
The platonic ideal.
Yeah, it's just a face. The ultimate generic, nothing special about it, undifferentiated face. Neither male nor female nor any other combination of being. It's just a human face.
Oh, so our beauty how-to YouTubers trying to acquire the face? Is it sought after? Is it something that people are like fighting over?
Are people going to fight over it, or are they just being driven mad by its banality?
Oh, right, because people fall under its spell. Okay, so we are doing the most dangerous joke, but we're doing it with a face. So does somebody try to weaponize it?
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, it has to be weaponized, but also we have to be super limited in the descriptors we use about it, so that we can keep it super vague until we finally do reveal, like the most dangerous joke, that it's actually just, why does anybody care about this at all?
Right. Yeah, you never know why people want it. So maybe, yeah.
But it's definitely, it's high in demand because it is regarded as perfectly unique. And since everything is a recycling of a recycling, this perfectly unique thing, suddenly everybody wants it, but everybody who gets their hands on it, bad shit happens to them. And also the creator went crazy and, like, I don't know, died.
Oh, the creator? Yes. Interesting. Now, yeah, is the story about the actual face, or is the story about him and how his life was affected by creating it?
You keep asking these questions and the answer's both.
The other thing was, this is an actual. So if there's one group that's trying to weaponize it, is there another group in direct conflict to the people trying to weaponize it who are trying to use it for some other purpose? Like, are religious people trying to deify it?
Oh, something that seems to, like, perfectly exemplify the most average possible human face might actually try to deify something like that. But on the other hand, do we really need a reason to be in conflict with a group that's trying to weaponize something beyond trying to stop them from weaponizing it?
No, you're right.
Why are we in conflict with the people who are trying to weaponize it? Well, we kind of don't want them to.
Yeah, I'm trying to demonstrate that the thing can be used for good or evil.
Oh yeah, we can definitely use it to create awesome new YouTube videos or something.
I was trying to figure out.
Maybe it could be used to unify humanity in a way that nothing else ever has, because it equally represents everyone.
Oh no, is it the meh meme?
Hang on while I educate myself.
Like, I'm talking old fashioned rage faces meh or whatever.
Yeah, it could
Meh.
be.
Yeah.
I think that adequately represents all of humanity.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to make some sort of statement with the fact that everybody gave such a shit about. So the fact that the sort of the because this is the spiritual statement of all humanity. This face represents
It represents everybody. This face is all of us.
yeah, especially in the year 2021. We have all reached the point of this is all.
Yeah, this face is the face of the human race.
And so,
This is more drama than comedy. It's kind of meta humor.
though I'm trying to find the humor in it. I feel like we have had somewhat dramatic conversations that have turned humorous.
The humor in this one is in the absurdity of it, because it is just like a meme face.
Well, that's
Like
that's
like it's the joke that kills everybody that reads it.
well, yeah, because maybe it is drama all the way through, and then it's not necessarily the meh face. Maybe no, because it needs to be plain. Maybe this is something we table for a little while. But I was gonna say, if it's meh, meh is sort of Buddhist, and Buddhist can be hippie, and so maybe it's the military industrial complex versus the hippies, and then maybe the commentary is about how the hippies all act as though they are passive, but they all become militant when they feel like their ideals are.
So basically, everybody's an asshole. Everybody's militant.
Everybody, yeah. Tribalism leads to war. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Maybe I want to table it.
That's why the face is supposed to eradicate tribalism by unifying humanity.
Right. Okay, I'm writing that down. Eradicating tribalism.
But we can take a couple steps back to the dystopian future where there are no actors, there's just asset flippers. Because I still think that's probably a decent launch pad.
I feel like that is a decent launch pad. And so maybe do we go to, so we said the most powerful people, the most valuable people in this world were people who are creating those assets. So maybe is there like a black market for assets, or like a pawn shop for assets, and that's where our scene is? Like a chop shop, maybe people get pristine assets and then hack them?
You know, because there would be a market for like brand new assets, but there would also be markets for like counterfeit
Right.
assets and like dirty ones or ones that have been chopped up to look like they're all like freshly produced brand new material, but they're actually just recycling different components from previously used assets. And those who can actually create brand new unique stuff would be the highest echelon of creators, and then there would be like this wide gulf in between where that's full of these choppers, I guess we could call them. They just
Do we call them deep fakers?
should we? Is that really what they're doing now?
Like I don't like this sort of came from the ability to deep fake. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there should be some sort of history where like the deep fakers were the pioneers of this generation, and so they're like revered in
The
some way.
deepfakers definitely led to actors disappearing.
Right.
They were entirely replaced by deepfaked material, and then eventually people wanted new stuff again, but there were no actors. So the people then just had to create digital assets from nothing.
Okay. So we have counterfeit assets. Scene take place. It's a counterfeit asset exchange transaction.
It's a freaking bazaar.
Oh, I like this idea. Is it like literally in Morocco?
Obviously, it has to be. And are they selling thumb drives, or are they actually like selling printed out JPEGs? It's you know what? It's dystopian. They have to do it with paper.
Like it's like an etching?
No, there's like a printer there.
Oh, okay.
It's just like on a glossy 8x10. You can buy a copy of the asset, or you can buy the asset.
Okay, that's like the trial version and then the pro version or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And since it's dystopian, your trial version has to like pretty quickly, erode or something.
Okay, we need at least one character to start driving the plot forward in this environment. We're at a bazaar in Morocco.
Do you want the primary driving character to be one of these illegal black market chopper guys?
Well, I'm wondering if we have a straight man who doesn't understand this reality, or if we're paying attention to somebody who knows where they're from. Is this a fish out of water sort of scene?
Do we have to get into the time machine and go here? Is that how we get here? I wonder if all this deep faking is going to have any negative consequences in the future. And then we're like, hey, fuck it, let's go find out.
Oh, interesting. Do we go in the time machine, or does somebody show up out of the time machine and take us into this adventure?
Interesting. I like that. Do we just like conjure somebody from the time machine instead of going there and then have them guide us?
Yeah, like somebody comes back to warn us about, or is that trope way worn out? Nobody ever comes back to warn us of anything.
Oh no, nobody gives a shit about us. Nobody's gonna warn us, that's for sure. The only thing driving us there is our own curiosity.
Okay, so it is purely our curiosity. We're watching deepfakes in our studio at home, and we go, I wonder what will happen in the future when these things take over, and then we go.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? Let's find out. We have a time machine.
We have a time machine, and here, okay, this is our first on-camera usage of the time machine. We go forward into the future, so it's Tucker and Todd. So Tucker and Todd are in this, and then they discover like a black market.
Do we have a guide?
Do we have a guide, or do we run into Columbo and he's our guide?
I mean, I think we both know the answer to that.
Well, this is interesting because we need to introduce the idea that we do run into Columbo on these adventures, that he has the same technology, that he doesn't need the machine.
Yeah, that he's kind of just like omnipresent throughout time. So yes, we naturally bump into him, and in fact, he probably finds us because he feels a disturbance in the space-time continuum or whatever.
Oh, maybe. So do we have an environment establishing conflict then? We run into a local, there's a misunderstanding, and then Columbo comes and clears it up for us and moves us on our way?
Yes. Columbo definitely has to come and help us escape from something. I think like maybe one of us pull out a phone and flip through a picture and somebody else sees it. And, hey, how much for that? How much for what? That image. How much for that image? This isn't for sale. And then a fight breaks out. All images are for sale.
I'm wearing a t-shirt with Nicolas Cage's face on it.
I think that's way better, actually. Why do you have a picture? You know what? Never mind. That's just the kind of thing that Todd would wear.
And somebody comes up. I don't know. It's funny because we say bizarre. That all of the shop merchants that I'm imagining are all, what's his name, Watto from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was happy with his super stereotypically Hebrew portrayal.
It's honestly so crazy that nobody at any point in that movie was like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do this."
Right?
Okay, so we have a T-shirt, and then somebody wants to purchase us, and so do they all start swarming around us? It is literally like the Indiana Jones bizarre scene.
Yeah, exactly. And then some kind of altercation breaks out, and I'm afraid you don't have a gun.
Does Columbo have a gun? Oh, does Columbo save us with a gun?
I think if Columbo saves us with a gun, he has to shoot the guy, and then everybody has to immediately stop to take his picture after he's been shot.
Yes, I'm ready now.
If he's dead,
Columbo
he's public domain as soon as he dies.
Right.
So his likeness is now for sale. Which conveniently gets the entire crowd to stop paying attention to us because now there's this guy.
So sorry. What happened? Which is with this guy?
Columbo saves us by shooting this guy. Like there's
Yeah.
like the crowd splits apart, much like they did in that scene with Indy. And the guy pulls out a weapon, and you're like, ah ha ha! And you actually like pull out a piece of sharpened celery or something, like something useless. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, this won't do at all. You don't have to say that; you just have to look that way. And then Columbo
Sure.
saves us, shoots the other guy, and then as soon as he's dead, everybody stops. The crowd starts ignoring us. Everybody stops to take the dead guy's picture because his
Oh,
likeness just became part of the public domain.
I get it. Do we need to do some sort of exposition in a line where somebody in the crowd yells, "That's a new one in the public domain," and everybody else goes, "Yeah," and then the swarm starts?
Yeah, probably. I want to be as minimal on exposition as possible, but somebody should probably shout something that explains the situation. Conversely, we can ask Columbo what's happening, and he just says, "As soon as you're dead, you're in the public domain."
Maybe there's there's a voice over a bunch of loudspeakers that announces that the guy that we just killed has been added to the public domain.
I actually like that idea, like a public announcement. Something like that, either a holographic display or just like a loudspeaker that reads off his number or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's easy. I like the idea of the number. Citizen number SKU 1138 is now a part of the public domain.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you do it right after the guy dies, then it makes sense to an audience. Okay.
And that is super dystopian.
Yeah. Okay, so that gets us away from that altercation. We are now with Columbo. Columbo makes a joke about bad date.
What are you here for? I had a bad date.
I had a bad date.
Yeah, bad date is mandatory. So, Columbo, rather than say just bad date, Columbo will say that he had a bad date with a one-legged woman. But he will put emphasis on the words bad date.
A man with a wooden leg named Smith.
I guess Columbo does. I guess he's not real picky, so long as you don't have, the wrong foot.
Oh, is this where we put in a joke? Let me just make sure I have her name. Oh no, we're playing with the Indiana Jones thing. He's there to search for the lost treasure of some ancient African queen's left shoe.
Oh, so he's there for something totally unrelated to what we're looking for.
Yeah, he's there for something unrelated.
Yeah, okay, I'm good with that.
I mean, and since it is the future, there's a possibility that at that time the ancient African queen is somebody from our generation.
Yeah, it's possible.
It could be Beyonce.
It could be Charlize Theron. She's from South Africa.
Is she actually? Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so Columbo is treasure hunt. Does it turn into his sketch? Was that just how we got to this place and now we're done with that joke? Or is the sketch about that? I don't want to do the both. Is the sketch about that joke or is it about him?
We have to make a choice. Okay. Do we feel we've milked the dystopian future enough to actually just run off onto a tangent into the next sketch?
I mean, I think there's a good chance that we have established an environment that we can come back to whenever we want.
Fair. Fair. We know the time and the place. Okay, fine. Do we get led away from our initial inquiry, because we are just a couple of chuckleheads? Do we get led away by Columbo almost immediately and join him on his quest?
I think maybe. And perhaps we can drill this joke home a little bit by encountering like robotic servants in this reality that have been given old actors likenesses because they were licensed or like licensed assistants. The same way that you can give your GPS like Mr. T's voice.
As if my GPS would speak with anyone's voice but Stephen Fry's.
Oh, that's a very good choice.
That said, if I had a robot assistant, it would probably be, Charlie Theron.
I mean, that's a good choice too. I bet you. I mean, that's sort of the entire concept of Her, except it's not Charlize Theron; it's Scarlett Johansson, who's essentially the same person, I think, right?
Yeah, same person, really. Yep, must be. ScarJo is also a good choice. Yep, for sure. What were we talking about?
I was saying that the same way that you download voices into your GPS, you can download a licensed famous person into like a protocol droid or whatever.
Okay, do you get to download their likeness? Does it look like them?
I think it looks like them. I think they have a hologram face that looks like them. It's a robot with a hologram face.
Good enough.
Okay, and so I mean, how long is this going to end up being?
Well, here's the thing: is if Columbo immediately leads us off the set to another sketch, this can be the end of this particular sketch, and we immediately start the next.
Okay, then I think that is what we might be. For now, the idea is that we're moving on to our next sketch, which is the Columbo treasure hunting sketch.
Now, I'm assuming we can stay in the same particular time and place, but well, not necessarily place. We obviously he's not looking for the shoe in that marketplace.
No, it's not in the marketplace. So we move out into the desert. He's at like a sunken crypt kind of location.
He's digging in the wrong place.
I mean, that might be sort of funny. Like it's like a sort of like a Paris, Texas. We're in the wrong Paris.
The fact that Columbo shows up and completely Shanghai's our sketch, because that was our personal quest, and then it immediately gets kiboshed and taken over by Columbo. That's a joke in and of itself. Like, and then we immediately forget it. We just drop it because citizen number whatever was okay. So that's what happens. Curiosity complete.
Oh yeah, I guess curiosity is complete. I was gonna say, so now we go off with Columbo. So maybe it does just end. That gets out. Maybe we are satisfied and we don't go with Columbo. You're on your thing, but maybe what happens is we get a treasure hunting montage that is fairly quick, and then that comes to us looking around, complaining like, is something funny going to happen? Like noting that nothing as funny has happened.
I mean, since our curiosity is satisfied, that's all the reason we need to go off with Columbo, because now we've got nothing to do. The alternative is going back through the time machine into the studio and looking at deepfakes.
Right. Well, all we were doing was looking at deepfakes.
Yeah, so we might as well go with Columbo. I'm on board for the little montage, because, like, we travel through the desert, we dig some friggin' holes, and in fact, even as part of the montage, there can just be like an image where we realize that the stupid stick we're using to measure where we're supposed to be digging is the wrong length. We don't even have to say it. We can just like chop an inch off of it or something, and then proceed as planned into the correct place.
Oh, there was a misunderstanding with a merchant. We thought he was selling 6 foot long sticks, but he was only selling 6 foot long sticks.
So that's why they came in a bundle.
I was confused why he was asking if we were buying in bulk.
But yeah, it can be a purely visual gag where we have to change the length of the stick. So yes, we were digging in the wrong place, but we don't announce it like we do with the bad dates.
Right.
So what happens when we find the crypt, the tomb?
So we've gone through this whole process. All the digging has been done. So the montage includes like booby traps and all that stuff. We've arrived where the actual treasure, like the treasure room.
Do we want to do a childish booby trap gag?
Like a childish booby trap, like it's literally boobs.
Yeah, like Either like female breasts or actually like get attacked by a blue-footed booby.
Oh, I was thinking that it's like we trip a wire and a whole bunch of like not a one large boulder, but a whole bunch of individual boobs come falling out of the sky and try to crush us.
I was actually thinking that we fell into a pit of boobs.
Maybe it's both, and then that's when we go with all these booby traps.
Yeah, that's probably the correct use of both.
So actually, maybe we need 3 then, because comedy comes in 3s. So there's a pit of boobies. There's the boobies falling from the thing, and then
Oh, that's fair, because there are 3 of us, and each one of us falls prey to a different trap. And the only one who likes it is Columbo, because he's a freaking...
oh yeah, it's like a scene where Columbo sees the trap and he has the chance to avoid it, but he realizes that it'll be his opportunity to relish in boobies, so he trips it.
Yeah, okay, we get caught unawares. Columbo sees it coming, and he just dives into it, because boobs. And this is how we very slyly cast shade on boob-seeking behavior. Once again, Columbo.
Always. So maybe one of them. So his is the pit of boobs that he dives into. One of them is the falling boobs, and then the other one is little boobs getting shot out of the wall. Crisscross
No,
applesauce.
no. I know exactly how it's gonna go. A giant rolling boob down the hallway.
Okay, it is a giant rolling boob. Okay, it's obvious that it's implanted. It's
I don't
too
know why,
round.
but I want to run away from a boob.
Maybe that's your line as we're running away. You're giggling. You're giggling you're filled with mirth. I've always wanted to run away from a boob.
And that definitely doesn't count as boob-seeking behavior because I'm running away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally different from the kind of mirth that Columbo has. Totally different.
And then I can remark that I wonder what Freud would have to say about this.
And then it cuts to Freud, and he's like, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
It cuts to our mom standing there looking at us.
Super disappointed.
I do like the idea that Tucker and Todd both have the same, but they're not brothers. They got adopted by the same lady.
That's an origin story for another time, but we should
That's a
tuck that one away.
Tucker.
Is that why they call you Tucker? I got there before you did, Craig.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody has like a ceiling of boobs fall on them, like a collapsing ceiling trap.
Yep.
And then Columbo, he takes one look down and he's like, oopsie, and then dives face first into the boob pit. And then I accidentally trigger a tripwire, and there's this loud rumbling, and this has to occur after we get Columbo out of the pit. Like,
Yeah,
we literally have to drag him out against his will, kicking and screaming, and then as soon as we all get settled again, I accidentally trip this tripwire, and then we hear this rumbling down the hallway, and we're like, oh god, no,
Yeah.
it can't be.
And then that boob chases us
coming.
into the treasure room.
Exactly. But yeah, we definitely know that the giant rolling boob is coming, because we're genre savvy, and at this point, we know it's coming. And then yeah, I can giggle because I've always wanted to run away from the giant rolling object, and this time it's a boob, and that's like a double win.
I'm envisioning little visual gags and auditory gags that I don't know if are going to be in it, but if this was a cartoon, as the boob was rolling, each time the nipple was depressed as it hit the floor, I would be making a little squish sound effect. So
I was actually thinking that it should sound like a squeak toy.
Yeah. It'd be sort of funny if you heard sort of as the speed is increasing, slowly a more frequent like squeak it, 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 squeak it as it comes toward us.
Oh yes, definitely. As it accelerates, it just gets squeakier. And we're running in terror from a squeaking ball.
A big squeaking ball with a nipple on.
Yeah, so it has to probably roll like a little bit unevenly.
Yeah, it's sort of wobbly.
It's perfectly round otherwise. I'm gonna assume that all of the boobs are actually just perfectly spherical, squeaky, squishy objects with nipples on them. Like the pit, the ones that fall from the ceiling, all of them are just boobish balls.
Yeah, it's a ball pit.
kind of jealous that Colombo gets to play in it now. I always loved the ball pit.
The cesspit.
I didn't realize how filthy they were until much later in my life.
Yeah, it's just humans. It's a gigantic exfoliating pad.
It is a petri dish.
Yeah. It is a shed skin museum.
I wish that was all that was in there, but it's just there's urine
a
and
lot
saliva and everything.
Never pissed in the ball pit. Definitely peed in the hot tub. Everything.
You're a fucking animal.
A wild animal.
Yeah, a wretched beast. Anyways, so we've escaped from the rolling boob of doom, and
Yeah.
now the treasure room. Is it full of boob iconography?
Well, here's the thing, because the treasure that Columbo is hunting is foot related.
That's true, and these are booby traps. This isn't a booby temple.
No, it's not a booby temple. Those were just the trap.
Yes, and obviously somebody has to actually speak out. What's with all these booby traps?
Goddamn booby traps.
But yes, and that's the end of it. There are no more boobies after that.
No. Now, is the treasure room shoe and or foot themed?
We actually just walked into it. I think it should look like an ancient Egyptian version of a modern shoe store.
Oh, okay.
You know, with the long shelves, racks of shoes stacked on top of boxes.
And so are most of all, because in some way, I feel like it needs to be the trope of all the treasure kind of looks the same, but then there's sort of like a dais in the middle, like a pedestal with one raised important shoe.
Yeah, and it is a singular shoe, and it's the only instance in the entire place of a single shoe.
Oh, they're all together, and that's the only one where it's the one by itself. Okay, that makes sense. They're all
Yes.
pairs.
Yeah, they're all pairs, and then this is the one like legendary solo shoe, and that's why it's on the raised pedestal. It was a very special person's one shoe. Like he's probably already sniffing it.
Yeah, I assume it gets to that shot where it's like it's us marveling at the wonder of the room that we're look over, and Columbo's already sniffing and licking everything else, cuddling with the shoe.
Yeah, he's already like the little spoon.
Yeah. He's a little spoon, he's in the shoe.
Is it a giant shoe, or is he just somehow squished into it?
Well, that's why the other thing, like, whose shoe is it? I feel like it's going overboard to say it's a famous one person, like one-footed person's shoe. I don't know if it's, like I said, because we're in the future, if it's somebody from our generation. So you said Charlize Theron.
What about her?
Well, I was trying to figure out, like, if it's somebody who's more recognizable
More recognizable as what?
as a queen, somebody who would be referred to as a queen. But I guess that's not really.
I can't think of anyone who's more queenie than Charlize Theron, except maybe for Elizabeth.
Okay, it is Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron is like an archetype of an attractive person, and it makes sense that Columbo would be hunting down Charlize Theron's shoe.
Interesting.
Is it a shoe that she wore in a specific role?
Do you have a role in mind?
Or it would be kind of funny if Columbo is in love with, because she was in Snow White and the Huntsman. It'd be funny if he says he's like a far off look as he's like, his is her boot from her role in Snow White and the Huntsman.
Or does he even think that she's an actress and that actually she is just the evil queen and that he's all about that?
Oh, that'd be funny if it wasn't even Charlize Theron, if he just referred to as the evil queen from the Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah. Don't even. I mean, that coincides with us
That's
not wanting
funny.
to use names.
Yeah.
The boot of the evil queen. Which one? The one from Snow White and the Huntsman. Technically using a name, but.
I mean, so maybe that's the joke? Is this the left shoe of Cinderella's evil stepmother?
Yeah, why not? Why is it here? Maybe that's the mystery and that's part of the joke, is that nobody ever knows why.
Because that's how Cinderella defeated her evil stepmother. Is she banished the shoe to the future.
Condemned her to the permanent inconvenience of walking with one shoe for the rest of her life.
See how it feels.
Yeah, you got one shoe now. Enjoy. that's your life now. And then she was defeated. That was it.
I mean, and we can cut to that scene.
The evil queen being condemned to only ever have one shoe.
Yes, and like and like screaming in agony, the torture of it.
As she goes about like a basic household chore with one bare foot.
Yeah, just trying to go down the spiral staircase in her castle.
Ooh, the stone is cold.
The dry read of, oh, the stone is cold. The stone is cold. Ooh, the stone is cold.
Yeah, that's her lamentation. It's just low energy.
Okay, so Columbo has this shoe from Fantasy.
Oh yeah, showing the evil queen being inconvenienced and oh, this stone is cold. That's
Oh, does he's in love with the shoe, so he's rubbing, like he's like molesting it. He's what's the proper word? He's like
he's
stroking
caressing it.
caressing.
He's
He's
undulating
caressing the
all
shoe,
over it.
and then he caresses it 3 times, and then the queen is released. She was banished to the
Oh,
shoe.
so she's a genie in a lamp, but it's actually just an evil. It's an evil
She's a
witch
genie
in
in a
shoe.
lamp, but it's a queen in
And
a shoe.
thanks to Columbo, she's been released.
Yeah, she's the old woman who lives in the shoe.
Well, she doesn't live in it anymore. Now she's out.
Yeah,
And then she takes Columbo, and they're gone.
that's all. Did she bring him inside the shoe?
No,
Or she just disappears
the
with him.
shoe is the last place she wants to go now. She's been free. She's just like, I'm free. And then she grabs him by the shirt collar and just like disappears. She, I don't know, like just winks out of existence, or they run out the door or something. They just run off the screen and they're gone. She abducts him.
She cackles something about like, oh, a new, whatever the proper word for assistant is, like a new minion sort of thing, and then winks out of its existence with him, grabs him by the lapels.
Yeah, his reward is servitude.
Yeah.
And then they're gone, and then we're just sitting there like, well, that seems unlikely.
Is that our catchphrase?
I don't know, but it might be mine, because unlikely things keep happening to us.
That's true. And you're surprised every time. But you take it in stride.
Well, yeah, I'm not shocked or anything. I'm just, well, that seems unlikely. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't think I want a catchphrase.
Okay, that's fine. So they wink out of existence, and that's the end, I think.
Yeah,
Is there any reason?
kind of,
Do we need to tag it with anything?
no, we're kind of left there, and we're just like, okay, and then yeah, roll credits.
Well, I guess we live here now.
Yeah, do you know which way is out?
Were you paying attention to which way we came from?
I thought you were doing that.
Oh, is this a breadcrumb joke? Good thing we brought those breadcrumbs, and then I've got breadcrumbs all over my mouth.
What breadcrumbs? And then yeah, we're stranded, but that's the end of it. And then like next episode, we're fine.
Yeah, we never address things like that. It's just fine.
Yeah, and nobody even has to ask us how we escaped. Somebody can definitely make a reference to it. It's like, hey, it's almost like the time you guys had to escape from that temple under the desert, and then we can immediately segue to something else. So like we make a callback to it, but still don't explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 sketches right there, is going into the dystopian future, and then immediately following Columbo into this temple and avoiding booby traps.
I think that's good. That one ends immediately. Because we started a little bit late, do you want to do one more short one? It's funny, it killed me last time. In the last episode, I go, so do you want to squeeze one more? And then we talked for an hour about a movie. Okay.
Yeah, we can try to get another one in there.
I think this is the short one.
I don't want to get called Tucker again.
Because you had put demotivational posters in public, the likes of which would be uttered by a depressed robot. Did you have... Is this a scene? Is this a sketch in which we are experiencing several different posters, or are posters just occasionally occurring in our world, and this is just
It probably falls in line with the idea of a dystopian future. Only this is one where like society as a whole is is almost self-aware of its own hopelessness, and like no longer do we have motivational posters. They don't exist. We just have demotivational pictures.
And are they direct, like, lampoons of motivational posters that do exist? It's just the opposite?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're just basically total reversals of that shit.
And so, to make it funny, are these posters occurring in situations where somebody is experiencing the opposite of what the poster is talking about? And then so, like, they are, let's say they are quite motivated and they're in a situation where they're doing well. Poster that they shouldn't be living with that attitude.
Yeah, pretty much like right on the back of the bus is like, don't forget, you'll die someday.
So, like, a guy is sitting in traffic, and so it starts a guy sitting in traffic, and he looks down. He gets a notification on his cell phone. He looks down, and it's a message from his wife that says something about "Remember, I love you." And he smiles, and he looks up, and he immediately sees the sign that says "Remember, you're going to die one."
Or it could just say, she doesn't.
She doesn't. Oh, it's a statistic. Remember, 75% of all marriages end in divorce.
Yeah, something like that. It has to be very topical for like exactly what's going on. It could, and like another situation happening in a nearby car, like a guy finds like a chocolate bar that he forgot about in his cup holder, and he's like, "Oh, awesome, a snack." Well, I'm stuck here, and then like there's another sign about like
Diabetes.
diabetes.
Okay, so the first one is like something along the lines of remember that like more than 50% of all happy marriages are interrupted by an early fatality or something like that. So it's constantly remind you of
Ooh,
that.
that's grim. Yeah, grim. But yeah,
A
it
hundred,
can actually just be a series of happy moments completely
I
ruined
like this.
by ugly signs.
Happy moments ruined by ugly signs. Like 100% of all spouses outlive their spouse.
It's fucking meaningless. That's basically that's what it is. Like there are no nice posters, billboards, pictures anywhere. Everything is just grim. And anytime there's a happy moment, there has to be a sign nearby that perfectly counters it, like specifically and thematic.
Yeah, okay. So we'll work for you a couple of those. Okay. Candy bar, another happy moment.
A guy gets promoted.
Promotion, and the sign reminds him of unemployment statistics, which are like absurdly high.
No, it informs him that he actually just took on like 80% more responsibility for 5% more money.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's a hollow victory.
I like the idea of a hollow
I'm
victory.
not 100. I'm not entirely sure how a sign would say that, but it might just be an employment statistics thing, where it details like even just like his position, like basically just tons of responsibility for virtually nothing additional in money.
Yeah, doctors announced that less than 8 hours of sleep at night will lead to dementia and an early death.
I hope that's not true, or I'm gonna die.
Well, it does lead to. They've said that it increases your chance of dementia by a factor of about 5. Oh, it wasn't less than 8.
Not getting enough
It
sleep.
was less than 6. Yeah, less than 6 hours of sleep a night increases your chances
Oh,
of
okay,
dementia.
less than 6.
Okay. Another happy moment. It was when you said hollow victory. It did sort of it put envision in my mind like somebody winning a war, like defeating an oppressor. Is that a happy moment that we want to include, or is that kind of jumping?
You mean like a successful revolution, even a bloodless one,
Yeah.
over an actual, definitely like objectively bad tyrant?
Yeah.
How do we make that a hollow victory? Spell it out for me.
Okay, give me a moment.
I know we can.
I know
believe
we
in you.
can. I just need to think about it for a moment. Unexpectedly disconnected. Thank Christ for Geark.
Oh wow.
Thank you, Geark. Well, I need to remember that you're who I'm downloading.
I'm so glad I insisted on him as a backup.
No kidding. What a horse's ass. Okay, so the victory is a revolution, and then the way that we sour the revolution is that we indicates a famous revolution and how long that era lasted.
I think I might be able to do you one better.
Okay.
We've had a bloodless revolution. We have, without violence or death, no, like a zero fatality coup, where we have removed an objectively incompetent and evil tyrant and replaced him with someone awesome, and are immediately invaded by a neighbor nation and conquered.
Yeah, but that's not a poster.
Don't forget, obey. But you're right, it's not a poster. But that is how you ruin that.
Oh, so maybe the regime that was in charge before has a bunch of posters up which like remind people of their misery. And then there's this scene where the leader is overthrown and all those posters come down and everybody's cheering and the new regime puts up a poster that's extremely similar.
Yeah. It's literally just paraphrased.
Yeah, basically.
All right, what's another happy moment that can be ruined with just a poster?
I feel like
That was my mistake, is that I had to ruin it with an invasion.
I feel like I was thinking of one when you said promotion. A happy moment. I don't know. I was this is not it. I say that every time my disclaimer. A guy comes and he looks over and the poster says that's come number 80,999 whatever.
you have ejaculated all alone X number of times. And it just pings up one.
The poster just says LOL nice.
Oh no, I don't think the poster even has anything to say. It's just pure factual. Which in and of itself, the number is so high and absurd that it's sad to add to. It's sad to look at it all, and it's even more sad to make it go up.
Or does it just say you are alone?
Yeah, that's basically what it says anyway, so why don't we trim out the fat and it just says you're alone?
Yeah, this guy has a great cum. He's all grins. He looks over and the sign says you are alone.
You may feel alone, but you are.
Oh yeah, that's the freaking one in the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then that is the line. You may feel alone, but you are.
Okay. We had the promotion. We had the nice text from his wife. We had the chocolate bar you didn't know you had. We had the guy who solo coitus in his bliss. Next up, guy who makes an excellent brand new friend at a random encounter at a coffee shop. He walks outside the coffee shop. What does he see on the next adjacent building?
Okay, so maybe as he's leaving the new friend, they like exchange names. Nice to meet you, Jason, or whatever. And then the sign says Jason works for an MLM.
Oh, that's pretty good. Your new friend works in a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't even say Jason. It's just like making new friends. They probably work in a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Made new friends? ? It's a pyramid scheme. If you have met a friend inside a coffee shop, you might be a pyramid scheme.
But what? Like the person is just pyramid scheme?
Yeah.
Friendship is.
Friendship is a pyramid scheme. Hey, you get 2 friends and then we'll have 3 friends.
Why would my friends become your friends?
Well, one of them is my friend and you can keep the other 2.
Then how did I make three people out of 2?
I don't know.
Are we aggressively recruiting?
It's an inverse pyramid.
It is a pyramid scheme for aggressively recruiting. Okay, I like these demotivational posters. What else is good? I have a hard time. Thanks to all this demotivation, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything good.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to think of essential areas of human existence, of humanity, through which satisfaction be gained.
Joyful moments, wholesome, touching, good things.
Yeah, he had a romantic relationship. He had a yummy treat. He had financial success. We had a war won. We had sexual satisfaction. We have socialization. Oh, maybe some sort of like vacation, some sort of rest. A rest.
Oh, yeah, a vacation. Yeah, okay. The guy arrives at his destination. He's like, oh my god, this place is beautiful. And then right up there on a billboard is a sign declaring how much this all fucking costs.
Yeah, the cost.
Don't forget, you're in debt.
Frivolous vacations are the leading cause of crippling debt.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Saved again by statistics.
Well, I think that's the sort of thing that gets put on anyways.
Yes, and that's exactly why we should be doing this.
Crippling debt. Okay.
All right, I think we could just like milk the demotivational thing for quite some time, but I think we have it as a concept.
It's a concept, and that's also 7 vignettes or whatever, 7 tableaus. I think that's decent. I don't think you would need.
Yeah, we might have actually hit just what every brick on the bottom section of that pyramid of needs.
Oh yeah, I guess that is what I was going for. What is that, Maslow?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, we hit them all. We're good. We're great.
Just off the top of our heads.
Now, can you name all of the states?
The U.S. states or states of mind?
the altered states of Drugachusetts?
I couldn't even begin. We could possibly use little demotivational things as like in between scenes.
Yeah, sure. We could also do spins on it. Like, I don't know. Now you gave me, when you start getting into like interstitial stuff, like as much as we had our silent J, maybe we could have the same way that Sesame Street had like this episode is brought to you by the letter J or whatever. This episode is brought to you by the crippling sensation of loneliness that you feel when you come for the 90,000th.
Somehow that where this episode is brought to you by.
Yeah, like this episode is
somehow.
brought to you by like something that causes depression. Like we can go through all of the depressive symptoms and then have a different interstitial for each one.
Well, that definitely sets the mood and the tone. I approve.
Okay. I think that might be enough.
Yeah, I think that counts as squeezing in a quick one. And we got our reading done, so that was cool.
We got our reading.
Hopefully all the lines are in good shape. Definitely got to make sure that Craig disconnecting hasn't lost us any of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll check that.
Otherwise, I think we're good.
We are good. That has been our show. Thank you for joining us once again in the writer's room at the Tucker and Todd show.
I'm Tucker.
And a hoe is a hoe.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm Todd.
Yeah, you are. Thanks for being you, Todd.
Thanks for being you. Thanks for being a friend. All right. Have a good night. I'll text you when all this shit's ready to go.
All right. Good night, everybody, and good night, Todd.
Tucker, until the next.
Fuck Tucker. Tucker sucks. And fuck Tucker's friend Todd.